JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, 4 held by cops minutes after reported attack in St. Thomas. The quick response of the St. Thomas police led to the apprehension of 4 men within minutes of an incident in Soho District on Tuesday, September 9, charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, assault to common law, assault occasioning bodily harm, and unlawful wounding are 29-year-old Roy Barnes, otherwise called Vanno, a businessman, 18-year-old Deshaun Davis, otherwise called Deshi, 21-year-old Ray J. Young, otherwise called Biggs, a fisherman, and a 19-year-old Mark Mitchell, otherwise called Boza, an electrician, all of Seaforth, St. Thomas. Reports from the police are that the 4 men accused 2 complainants of stealing a motorcycle. The complainants denied knowing the whereabouts of the stolen motorcycle. One of the accused pulled a handgun and pointed at the complainants. The accused men then physically assaulted the complainants and fled the scene. Within minutes, a St. Thomas police team intercepted the motor vehicle and captured the men. The men were subsequently charged following an interview. Their court date is being finalized. Businessman charged with breaching curfew and illegal possession of firearm. A businessman who was caught breaching the curfew order has been arrested and charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition in Comfort District, Williamsfield, in Manchester yesterday. Charged is 26-year-old Eric Price, otherwise called Daddy, of Gravel Lane in the community. He has also been charged with breaching the Disaster Risk Management Act. Reports are that policemen were on operation in the community about 11 a.m. when Price, who was walking, was stopped, searched, and the weapon, a Taurus 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 8 9mm rounds, was found in his possession. Teens found with illegal firearms while trespassing on farm. 3 teenagers who were trespassing on a farm in Seaforth, St. Thomas yesterday were arrested in connection with the siege of a Smith & Wesson Springfield 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 7 rounds and a Beretta 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 15 rounds. Reports from the police are that the teenagers were caught trespassing on the farm about 10:09 a.m. when they were stopped and searched. The police said the firearms were found in the possession of 2 of the teens, prompting their arrest. The teens are to be questioned in the presence of their attorneys, after which charges will be preferred under the Disaster Risk Management Act and Firearms Act, the police said. Portland man charged with illegal possession of firearm. 33-year-old Andrew Bennett is scheduled to appear before the Port Antonio court on October 20 to answer to gun-related charges stemming from an incident in his community on September 4. According to the police, at about 12 a.m., a team of officers were on operation in Boundbrook, Port Antonio, Portland, when they approached a group of men who opened fire at the officers. The lawmen returned fire, and 1 man was fatally shot, while the other men escaped. The police say that intelligence led to a raid being conducted, and Bennett was taken into custody. He was interviewed and subsequently charged with shooting with intent, illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, following a question and answer session. District Constable found dead at home in St. Catherine. District Constable 45-year-old Alric Atkins was found dead at his house in Green Acres in Spanish Town, St. Catherine this morning. The discovery was made when a check was made at his home after he did not turn up for work at the Augustown Police Station in St. Andrew, where he was stationed. The circumstances surrounding his death are being investigated. Atkins was described by his colleagues as dedicated, hardworking, and reserved. Indicom leading investigation into Nzinga King case. The Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom, is now leading the probe into the alleged trimming of 19-year-old Rastafarian Nzinga King while she was in custody at the Four Paths Police Station in Clarendon on July 22. King has claimed that she was trimmed by a female officer while she was in custody at the police station. In a virtual press briefing earlier today, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson said the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF has turned over all material from their investigation to Indicom and are awaiting their conclusion before taking further action. Indicom wrote last week and asked to turn over the investigation to them. We want to hear whether or not they recommend criminal charges in the matter or breaches in our own rules and policies, he said, pointing out that the incident was not consistent with the policies of the force or most of its members. Anderson took the time to assure members of the Rastafarian community that they need not be concerned that the JCF has any challenges with them. Attorney Isaac Buchanan, who is representing King, claims that she was assaulted and battered and that the cop ought to be charged. Chef arrested and charged after stabbing his grandfather to death. A 22-year-old Trelawney chef has been charged with the murder of his 84-year-old grandfather. The deceased has been identified as 84-year-old Michael Stevenson. Charged is 22-year-old Victor Newman of Wakefield and Quickstep District in Trelawney. It is reported that on the morning of September 11, Newman used a knife to inflict several stab wounds to Stevenson. He was accosted by residents who handed him over to the police. The lawmen said that on Monday, September 13, a question and answer session was conducted in the presence of two justices of peace. Newman was subsequently charged with murder on Tuesday, September 14. Council appeals for cops' help after more bloodletting in Clarendon. Councillor Winston Mirage of the Jamaica Labour Party Rocky Point Division is asking the police to maintain a strong presence in that area following a flare-up of gun violence in the southern section of the parish. His call follows yet another murder in an area known as Wildman Town in Portland Cottage yesterday morning. These things don't happen when the police are in the area. The persons committing these crimes watch the police and wait till they move to another community, then they strike. Some asking that the police and military strategize and come up with a plan to secure the space in an effort to stop the bloodletting, Mirage said, pointing out that the healthcare system is already overburdened with COVID-19 patients. 39-year-old Nego Swaby, otherwise called Shanks, is the latest person to have died as a result of the ongoing violence in southern Clarendon. He was shot yesterday morning while at a relative's house. According to the police report, loud explosions were heard shortly after Swaby opened the back door to the house sometime after 6 a.m. He ran back inside with his attackers chasing and shooting at him. The shooters then left the area on foot. When the police arrived, Swaby was found lying on his back with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to his head and upper body. He was confirmed dead at hospital. Yesterday's incident, according to police reports, is a continuation of the terror that began on Sunday when Swaby was the intended target in the shooting death of his cousin, Arvid Matthews. Matthews was sitting in the yard with Swaby and another relative when a white car approached. A man got out and opened gunfire. When the police arrived, they found Matthews with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to his upper body. He was pronounced dead at hospital. The police say their investigations have so far revealed that Swaby was involved in illicit activities, including the flour for cocaine scam in southern Clarendon. JPS granted rate increase. Jamaicans will have to pay more for their light bills starting this month after the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, granted an increase to the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited, JPS. The OUR's decision took effect on September 1 and will be reflected on customers' October bills. With increases granted to the JPS, customers will see an overall average increase of 1.4% in their bills. Residential customers will see an average increase of 1.2%, significantly lower than the average 3.8% increase requested by the JPS. Overall, the Light and Power Company had requested an average increase of 3.5% in light bills. Meanwhile, the non-fuel prepaid rates for residential customers will see consumers being charged $13.85 per kilowatt hour for the first 117 kilowatt hours of electricity. The JPS will charge $21.03 per kilowatt hour for each additional kilowatt hour if usage exceeds 117 kilowatt hours. The non-fuel prepaid rate for small commercial customers will be $122.45 per kilowatt hour for the first 10 kilowatt hours. Each additional kilowatt hour will be billed at $9.03. Police to assess video involving Floyd Green before commencing investigation, says SSP Lindsay. Following public outrage over a celebratory video involving former Minister of Agriculture Floyd Green, law enforcers are set to begin an assessment of the footage to determine an appropriate course of action. In an interview earlier today, Senior Superintendent of Police SSP Stephanie Lindsay said confirmation of the location and date of the event needs to be determined before any official investigation begins. I need to see the video for myself and have discussions about it as to what will happen. When these videos do come across our desk, we usually send out advisories that people should continue to be guided by the provisions under the Disaster Risk Management Act, DRMA, she said, advising that if law enforcers had turned up at the event in real time, more could be done in terms of prosecution. She added, "If we got the video in real time and had gone to the location, the police would have been in a position to take action, but it's after the fact." According to Lindsay, appropriate action will be taken after the conclusion of the assessment. "I don't want it to come across that because of who is in the video we're not taking action. We treat all videos the same, and we get hundreds of videos every day. In terms of a video and any breaches that may have occurred, it is not treated based on who. From a law enforcement standpoint, it doesn't matter who creates the breach, whether it was an ordinary citizen, a pastor, or police, appropriate action will be taken." Social media has been in a frenzy since the video of Minister Green and several others, including Jamaica Labour Party JLP councillor for the Mono Division in the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, Andrew Bellamy, and Green's assistant Gabriel Hilton surfaced late Tuesday. The social gathering allegedly took place on a no-movement day at a popular hotel in St. Andrew. 510 new COVID-19 cases, 21 more deaths. Jamaica's COVID-19 death toll continues to rise, with the country recording 21 virus-related deaths on Tuesday, bringing the total to 1,757. The country also recorded 510 new infections, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 77,497. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the 21 deaths occurred between August 30 and September 13 and included a 54-year-old man from Manchester, a 69-year-old woman from St. Catherine, a 67-year-old woman from Westmoreland, a 53-year-old woman from Westmoreland, a 42-year-old man from St. Elizabeth, a 66-year-old woman from Manchester, a 68-year-old man from St. Anne, a 70-year-old man from St. Anne, a 27-year-old man, a 101-year-old woman, and a 61-year-old woman from Manchester, a 67-year-old man from Kingston and St. Andrew, a 90-year-old man from Manchester, a 36-year-old man from Portland, a 56-year-old woman from St. Catherine, a 65-year-old woman from Manchester, a 25-year-old man and a 96-year-old woman from Kingston and St. Andrew, a 79-year-old man from St. Anne, a 54-year-old man from St. Mary, and a 74-year-old man from St. Anne. Of the 510 newly reported cases, there were 293 females and 216 males with ages ranging from 2 days to 103 years. The cases were recorded in St. James, 135, Kingston and St. Andrew, 88, St. Mary, 64, St. Catherine, 61, Westmoreland, 48, St. Anne and St. Thomas, 30 each, Hanover, 27, Trelawney, 21, Manchester, 4, and Clarendon, 2. The country also recorded 140 recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 50,217. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.